How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here, and welcome back to another Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time video. So earlier today, Game Informer put out an article detailing the in-depth look at Crash 4 that they was provided with by Toys for Bob. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's pretty full of spoilers, including story details pertaining to the intro cutscene. So if you don't want to get spoiled, then I highly recommend skipping past the first portion of the video and heading to the timestamp that you see on the screen, where I talk about the other non-story related details. I'm not discussing the entire article, but I do want to point out the more important bits. Starting with the opening cinematic. It starts out with a very up-close shot of Cortex's face. The camera zooms out to show Cortex beating a straw dummy of Crash Bandicoot senseless. Okay, he's pretty insane now. The camera continues to zoom out much further to show the asteroid that Uka Uka, Cortex, and Entropy have been stuck on for 22 years. This is indicated by a quick shot of a rock with 22 tally marks on it, which is a rather nice reference to the fact that Crash 4 is releasing 22 years after the release of the original Crash Warped, which this game follows up that story. Anyways, the trio starts arguing about their fate on this floating asteroid and that they need to keep trying to escape, and at the end of the cutscene, Uka Uka becomes so angry that his rage tears open a hole in the space-time continuum, which also leads to different dimensions and eras in time. However, doing this came at a cost of knocking himself out. And here I thought Cortex was the one I clubbed him in a move of betrayal. Apologies for my earlier accusations, Doctor. Cortex and Entropy then leave Uka Uka behind to escape the asteroid. Aku Aku then senses something is very wrong, sensing that something bad is going to happen. So he urgently wakes up Crash, and the adventure to find the quantum masks and restore the universe begins on Insanity Beach. That's pretty much it in terms of story details, but the article also reveals the fourth and final quantum mask, Akano, with an apostrophe at the beginning of his name for some reason. Technically speaking, this mask was already revealed on the game's cover art, it's just we never knew what exactly he could do in the game. Well, today, we finally find out along with some screenshots. Akano harnesses the power of dark matter, and when Crash and Coco collect Akano, they get this dark matter suit that looks like it belongs in a superhero movie. I'm not lying, it looks great. Activating Akano sends Crash and or Coco into a violent spin like a tornado, which can be cancelled out at the push of a button. But just how different is this from the standard spin move, you might ask? Well, it can basically deflect enemy projectiles, smash through enemies, and break any crate that comes into contact with it. Even the steel ones that usually require a slam to break open, this can break through it no problem. Except TNT crates, you still can't break them without, exploding, so that's about the only downside to this. But one of the biggest advantages of using this mask is that you can actually gain some significant height and distance by double jumping while using this dark matter spin. Hey, that's the name I got for it, and I'm keeping it that way. And when you think about it, it's similar to the Death Tornado in the Insane trilogy, but a lot more useful than before. I mean, reflecting enemy projectiles, that's not only cool, but it makes perfect sense to further evolve the spin move. Now, looking at the short gameplay we got, combined with the details in the article, this level is called Give It a Spin, which is basically the tutorial level for players to get acquainted with Akano's abilities, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And the music, oh, this is the clearest we could hear this game's soundtrack across all the footage that we've seen so far, with this one kind of reminding me of the soundtrack in some of Coco's levels in Wrath of Cortex. Take a listen. One other thing I do have to mention about this footage is, just like in the Tana reveal, we seen that in inverted mode, you'd get gems for a set number of Bumpa Berries you collect. Well, the same thing applies here for the Wumpa Fruit. You collect so many, you get one of 3 gems. But speaking of gems, the article mentions that every level features 6 gems, free from collecting Wumpa Fruit, while the other 3 are, I'm assuming, either hidden or you need to break all the crates in the level, all that good stuff. But there are also 6 gems when when you play through each level in inverted mode, so the game's total amount of gems can add up really quickly. The article also mentions time trial relics, and what's different about them in Crash 4 is that, like in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, you'll have trial ghosts, so that way you can see whether or not you're going to get a good time, and that is a rather nice addition if I say so myself. I bet that if these were in the Insane Trilogy, it would have made certain levels a whole lot easier. You know what? Never mind that. And that's pretty much about it concerning Akano's abilities reveal, but I do have a couple more things I need to bring up before ending the video. According to the Game Informer interview, the character timeline levels are indicated by squares on the dimensional map, while the Crash and Coco levels are simply indicated by circles, and that's a pretty good way to tell exactly who you're going to be playing as. And these squares are simply off to the side of the main path, so it's not to distract from the main progression of the main game. The next thing is concerning the recent Tana gameplay reveal. A lot of people, including myself, noticed that not just Tana's VA was different in Crash 4, but also Coco's. Now, I didn't say anything about this in my analysis video because I just simply thought that it was just a different direction that they were taking for Coco's voice. Well, some fans were thinking that her VA from the Insane Trilogy, Debbie Derryberry, got swapped out for someone else. And like I said, that never really occurred to me while making that video, and just simply thought it was a different voice direction. Well, a Twitter user by the name of RonMan1998 asked about her involvement as Coco's VA in Crash 4, and she responded back with, "I'm not the voice of Coco in this one." And just like Tana, we have absolutely no clue as to who is voicing either character in Crash 4. And last thing for the video is that if you boot up Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled on the Nintendo Switch as of right now, you'll see a CTR TV banner going across the screen, basically telling you that if you pre-order Crash 4 digitally, you'll receive a demo on September 16th. And as we all very well know, this game has not been officially announced to be coming to the Nintendo Switch, and the fact that this even appears on the Switch version tells us that a Switch version is indeed coming. We'll most likely have to wait until next year to get that, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways guys, I think I've covered all that there was to be discussed in this video. If I missed anything at all, please be sure to let me know down in the comments section below, along with your thoughts on these new details for Crash 4. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on any and all news relating to Crash Bandicoot 4 as it happens. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and the support. I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time.